It's cool. Festive. Yeah, that's what you call it. You should do an Alexa Bliss GM outfit. I should, but that's gonna be in like 5 years because they are so stingy with their directs. Thank you, Curtis. Hi, Becca. I don't know. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. How are you, Gus? Okay, let me put this nail set on. Oh! It's not what I was expecting. How's your red? Ah! That was like a SpongeBob laugh. So real of me. That's how RuPaul laughs. In bed. I know. I've had sex with RuPaul. Okay, we're gonna stop. I just started. There's no caffeine in my system. How much time we got? We got like 10 minutes. Okay, perfect. So what are we thinking, everybody? So I know everybody's gonna be like, Nem, what are your predictions? Nem, what are you expecting? So what do you guys think? You can even pull up the tweet now. I tweeted that this direct, the big sell of this direct is gonna be the Kid Icarus 3DS remake port to the Switch. All right, house music, let's calm down. It's only 5 p.m. Me and house music bouncing off the walls right now. Like, we need to calm down. Hi, MJ. Happy to see you. Nintendogs, you think so? Hopefully more Zelda content. Everybody keeps saying we're gonna get a delay today. Do you guys think we're gonna get delayed? I think it's ridiculous. Everybody keeps saying it's gonna get delayed. I know it might be a meme, but like, I don't know, like, I feel like if they already marketed out the date, I don't think Nintendo has ever pushed back a release date. Have they? I could be wrong. Girl, we better have another Chris Pratt no moment. That made me go viral. I'll take it. A full public meltdown. Okay, I think we all will, honestly. Because, like, it's, like, expected for May. It's gonna be May. I just don't I just think it would be ridiculous and it would, like, really tarnish the game if they delayed it. Because, like, the video game world doesn't like when they do that. Like, remember when God of War Ragnarok got delayed? Everybody was up in arms. And it says first half of 2023. So something tells me if we even get Zelda news, it's gonna be good news, hopefully. Girl, with the meltdown of like everybody on Twitter lately just because of that redacted game, it's so bad. Like, I'm just hiding in my hole eating popcorn. We're not gonna talk about it. Today is Nintendo. Here at work, nobody tell my boss, hard eyes emoji. I won't just this one time. Next time I'm gonna tell. Oh, good morning, Marshall. I don't think I have a full nail set, guys. Uh-oh. I can't find the other ones. Uh-oh. Hi, Junior. I need 2 nails, and I don't have... I could probably add, like, a different color, because it's the same nail. Well, here's one. These are my Misa nails for when I did Misa Amane. I honestly don't know either. I think it's gonna be a lot of indie titles, if I'm honest. A lot of indie shit. But, like, again, last time we said we didn't know what it was a good direct. Like, it was one of the best directs. We got Pikmin, we got, like, all that. Do you remember that direct? That direct was nuts. So, today could either be really good or really bad. Their February ones are usually pretty good because the big selling in the gaming world is usually summertime and then winter. So... I'm expecting good things, hopefully. No, literally, if we do get... I want Pikmin news. The new Pikmin looks really good. Hi, Newt. Faves of 2022. Someone asked that the other day and I couldn't really, like... I'd have to look at my gallery. Honestly. What was, like, the big sales last year? I would say Bayonetta 3 is definitely a good sell, but, like, you know, we all know the complaints about that game. Thank you. Leah's gifting a sub. Thanks, Lee. Appreciate you. Alrighty, everybody. We are impending the countdown. I have my microphone. I never leave my home without it. I'm a little nervous, I must say. I already broke a nail. Oh, come on, man. Oh, yeah, I hope we get Fire Emblem DLC. I don't think... Everybody keeps saying we're gonna get Bayonetta 3 DLC. I don't think we are gonna get it. Because, like, the new game, and if they release DLC for Bayonetta, it would ruin the marketing. But I could be wrong. I'm not a marketing strategist, okay? The straw in my cup just, like, popped up by itself. That was a little suspicious. Thank you, Batty. I'm literally just gluing this nail to my finger because it's not a thumbnail, so it won't fit on my finger. It's fine. What? No way. As me? Why me? When did she get here? Oh, it was like last week. Do you love it? Get some Nemi reporters and then Nemi Lois in the chat. Peter, what's going on? I would love to see if I can get tagged on the TL or something.
There once existed 2 European clans who served as overseers of history for the powers that be. The Umbra Witches, dwellers of the darkness.
Yeah, I want to see it.
Sages, controllers of the light. Fearing
Miriam! Thank you so much for gifting a sub.
Umbra. And soon, the
Or subscribing, not gifting a sub. You subscribe to yourself. Okay, go off. Literally, what is happening? How much time we got left? They're not even gonna play like some music for the like waiting room? Wow, guys. They're discussing. 4 minutes. Okay. I'm just gonna sit here with no tunes just because like I got copyrighted the other day for playing Sackboy and it wasn't even Uptown Funk. They copyrighted me. I said, what are you copyrighting me for? It's an original soundtrack. Like, okay, geez. Like, WTF. I'm drinking a Sonic G Fuel, developed and made by G Fuel, and you can get yours now with using code Nemesis at checkout for 30% off all G Fuel products. Ding! I have a ding, hold on. That's not it. There we go. Ding! Yay, we're doing the thing. AV Hero, thank you so much. 16 months of subscription. Thank you so much for coming back. No pink lemonade. Baby, trust. You know me. You know. I had to stop drinking those because they were fucking up my everything. Remember that one summer we were in, like, we were just always on Tumblr making Tumblr pages and we would just drink the fuck out of energy drinks and we drank them every single day, like 5 times a day, like all the time. And I had to stop back then because it was hurting my heart. I had to do that again because that's what I was doing for streaming. I just want to let you know, MJ. But that every time I think about it, I think about that. MJ is one of my IRLs. Everybody go follow MJ. They sometimes stream and love them so much. Professional in the marketing attire. Do you live? Do you laugh? Do you love? Putting the red in Red Queen today. You look so good. Thank you. I got these blazers at, I think I got them at Forever 21. I went to the mall and I went on like a shopping spree to celebrate my Christmas, like budge, because I didn't really get a Christmas, because I am alone. So I celebrated my Christmas by giving myself a shopping spree, and all of the press events I've had to do lately come in handy because I have all these blazers, which is nice. Nice and fitting and slay. Oh, I like it over the shoulder like that. Just like, It is what I should look like at work right now. Could you imagine me typing on a computer? I am the CEO. That's a reference. Lee Dawson will get it. Tyra life size, please. What would you rate that? I think that was like good, like 9.5. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've only drank a sip of this, and that's where that burp came from. I haven't had anything to eat this morning. That was kind of crazy. Hi, Epi. So sorry I missed your message. That wasn't a pre-made sound. No, that was me, baby. You know I gotta do it to him. I make everything from the ground up, even my sound effects. Ding! Oh, I don't like the just hello. Nothing with it. That's a little scary. Hi, Slay Mama. Are they gonna start this? Okay. Hi, Jack. Yeah, we get it. Girl, I'm scared. Are they gonna start out with a bing, bang, bong, sing, sing, song? Oh. Oh, is this Pikmin? Yay, Pikmin! This game looks really cute. Even if you're not a Pikmin fan, it looks really cute. I'm glad they started with this. beautiful it looks. I do like it over the shoulder. Not Galaxy 3, getting your hopes up to the T. Oh, they brought back, what's her name? Hi, John. Look at how good it looks. Oh, look at the little Pikmins. They're so cute. Don't hurt them. Anybody hurts my babies, you're done. You're done. I like the yellow Pikmin, and I think you know why. That one meme. Y'all know that one meme with the yellow Pikmin standing with a certain title phrase that I cannot say on the live? Oh! He's so cute! Oh, we gotta stream this. This looks cute. Oh my gosh! Thank you guys for gifting subs and starting a hype train. Oh, that scared me. This looks good. Like, I'm not a big fan of the Pikmin games before because they're kind of like, they're not like saturated. They're kind of darker, a little like rustic. So I like this one. This one looks cute. What was that? What is that? That's a booty hole! Girl! That's a puswacha. Is that Yiddish? It's her vagina. That's a Drag Race reference. Lee Dawson will get it. Google search, does the dog die? Pikmin 4. What the? Girl, you better back up. You could back it up a little bit. Oh yeah, your release date! That's exciting.
Hello everyone, I'm Shinya Takahashi, and I'll be your guide for today's Nintendo Direct. That was the latest trailer for Pikmin 4.
That's exciting. That gives July a good... Because there's nothing really for July right now.
What kinds of things will it show us? Please look forward to more information in the future. Let's see
Thank you,
first
Key.
batch of Nintendo Switch headlines.
All right, let's go, headlines.
This new hero is a real gem.
She looks like a girl boss.
Introducing Volume 3 of the Xenoblade Chronicles.
Okay, Xenoblade. Ooh! Yes, Blue, die. Oh, she's giving.
Hello to Masha.
Yes, Masha. Nobody make a Marsha or a Jan reference. I will ban you. Masha, move over here. Shut up.
Roguelike elements are also being added.
Anyways.
Select only one character and battle wave after wave of enemies. For every win, you'll earn more heroes and special abilities. Rack up victories with your heroes and set your sights on the final stage. You might also get special in-game outfits as a reward. And
who's that hot guy in the white?
Later this year.
Tell me why! Is this really what you want? Nothing's gonna get through to him.
Why are his eyes so close together? Sorry. He has like no nose, like a me character.
Like killing Granddad wasn't enough for you?
Volume 3 of the Xenoblade Chronicles 3 expansion pass.
Okay, good for Xenoblade fans. I'm happy for you. Oh my god, that's real soon, girl.
Shake it, amigo.
Holy shit!
3, 2, 1. Yeah! Move to the beat in a brand new
Samba baby! Holy shit!
Your Joy-Con controllers and gently shake them like maracas to match the target.
This is good. So unexpected. Wow.
Instructions on screen.
Yes.
And dance.
I dance.
But the unexpected might happen, so stay on your toes.
I high five.
Why not dance with a friend to predict your
This bitch in the dress?
in Love Checker?
Oh, this
Make
eats.
sure to show up in style too.
Oh, bitch, we are playing this.
World Party.
Wait, we can play online, bitch. Community nights, Samba de Amigo community nights.
The beat and aim for first place. 40 songs are included, spanning a multitude of genres.
Oh, it's a wrap.
The world. So grab those controllers and get shaken. When
Wow.
Samba de Amigo Party Central shimmies onto Nintendo Switch this summer.
That's exciting. That's a good summer release.
Got a passion for fashion?
Is this Second Life? Girl, what the fuck?
Welcome to Fashion Dreamer. This is the place to glam it up and express yourself. Here, you'll aim to become a stylish influencer. And you're in luck.
Side eye. Side eye. It honestly doesn't look bad. It actually looks really cute. But like, this is literally Second Life, but like Nintendo coded.
For them to grow as an influencer.
Tell me I'm wrong. Not humanoid Animal Crossing. Be serious. That menu was just Animal Crossing. The KDA jacket? Okay. Where? Can we get some lawyers on the line? Let me type on the computer. We need to get the lawyers. Hello? We need to sue.
You can get the items other people are wearing by liking them.
No, literally, I envy you.
Mix and match.
That is the Animal Crossing customized menu. 100. Tell me I'm wrong. You can't because I'm cracked.
Grow your brand. Got an eye for fashion? Then get styling when Fashion Dreamer debuts exclusively on Nintendo Switch this
Can you
year.
give us a release date? The fuck? Hello? That's literally...
Delve into these dark worlds.
Girl...
Dracula's Castle beckons in this new paid DLC for the roguelite action
Oh, Dead
platformer,
Cells.
Dead Cells.
Oh, I thought they announced this
Venture
already.
through the castle's hellish halls and outskirts alongside
Okay.
Richter Belmont.
Hi,
and
Cammy.
Alucard,
Thank you.
Leading up to a showdown with Death and Dracula himself. Wield the Vampire Killer and other iconic weapons as you vanquish
My hair keeps getting
legions of
caught in my
monsters
earring.
frenetic combat. 12 original covers and 51 songs from the Castlevania series accompany you during your quest in Dead Cells. Return to Castlevania, sinking its teeth into Nintendo Switch March 6th. Pre-orders begin today on Nintendo eShop.
They did announce this at the Game Awards, you're right.
Enter a new grid in this narrative puzzle adventure set within the Tron universe. Uncover dangerous
Be serious
secrets
right
and
now.
retrieve
Not
what was
Tron.
lost
How
as
old
you
are we?
navigate through a perilous world. Your decisions and the
Do you want me to
alliances
play
you
this
forge will
game and then on the
impact
side
your
have my
journey
Hot
and the
Wheels?
entire
And then play with my Legos?
Tron Identity
Like-
launches first for consoles
Okay,
on
girl.
Nintendo Switch this April. Who's there? Wait, is that? Well, that can't be good. The time-bending murder mystery Ghost Trick returns in HD. After
Okay.
kicking the bucket and becoming a ghost, you can possess and control objects. With
This
your
looks
powers,
good.
You can even help others, like this woman, and change any ill-fated...
You can help others, like this woman. Sorry. The way the delivery of that line was
Ghost
funny.
Trick, Phantom
You can help
Detective,
others, like this
Spirits onto
woman.
Nintendo Switch this summer. Two connected worlds, one suspenseful thriller.
What is happening? Hello? Danganronpa? Side eye. Side eye. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm dragging this game right now, but I'm literally gonna buy it. This looks good. My bank account with all these games. You can help others, like this woman. Help her. Oh, the combat work. Okay, I'll buy this if it's less than $30, because I'm gonna be real with you, this looks like a mobile game, So let's humble ourselves and not jack up the price to like 60 bucks, okay? Gaming companies, humble yourself. Oh, there's furry transformations. Okay. I support you. Yeah, in March, on March 11th, you can help others like this woman for her birthday.
Once upon a time.
Okay,
there
show
was
us
a
more.
witch and a demon.
Let's go.
Experience Bayonetta's origins as a young witch named Cereza. Seeking the power to rescue her imprisoned mother, she ventures deep
Her
into
mother.
the Avalon Forest ruled
Mother.
by fairies.
I'm going to that forest. I'm going to become a witch and save Mummy.
There, she'll encounter the otherworldly demon Cheshire. You'll
Yeah, and then it gets
control
lost to
the witch
Viola
and
because
demon at the
Viola
same
has no
time.
taste and
Harness
Cheshire needs to be
Cereza's
saved
magic
because we
and
need to help
Cheshire's
him.
philosophy
We need to get Cheshire
through
away
this
from Viola.
mysterious and
Somebody
dangerous
help
forest.
him. Sorry.
They'll need to work together in battle.
How many
as
months
well.
later and I'm still dragging Viola? I'm not
Cereza
wearing a
cannot
watch.
attack and can only support Cheshire by magically binding enemies. Hold an enemy in place while Cheshire attacks. Or stop an aggressive one to focus on another.
Work.
Strategically use each character's abilities to
Work.
win battles.
Work. You
The
better
duo will gain strength
work.
as they continue their journey. By obtaining more powers, new paths can be opened, and battles can be more easily swayed in your favor. Can Cereza and Cheshire find their happily ever after?
Well, no, because Viola ends up with Cheshire, so that's not heavily about.
Origins,
It's not.
Cereza and the Lost Demon prowls onto the Nintendo Switch system March 17th.
Yeah, okay.
Pre-orders are available now on Nintendo eShop.
What do I get? Do I get 1 HP potion and a Pokeball for getting a pre-order? Like, why do we have no pre-order bonuses anymore? Sorry, I'm just bothered. Oh, Splatoon content. Eat. I want to turn this up, so if you guys would excuse me. Whoop! Okay, we're good. I turned it up for you guys. You're welcome. Everybody say thank you, Nemesis. Sorry, I just like attention. Hi, Chrissy.
Introducing the Splatoon.
Yo, I would get up and
expansion
shake my ass
pass.
right now.
This paid DLC includes 2 waves.
One
of
sub and I'll
content.
do. Just kidding.
The first wave is Inkopolis. Make this splat-tastic place from the original Splatoon game your stomping grounds. This is Booyah Base. It's got some pretty nifty weapons and gear. You might spot a few familiar faces alongside new shopkeepers.
The little guys?
Products here are the same as
The
the
shoe?
ones in Splatsville.
Why does he look like a
shop
ball
wherever
sack?
your
Hold on.
vibes are strongest.
That's just.
Salmon Run, Table Turf Battle, The Show, and Amiibo functionality all work in the same way here too.
Okay, I didn't pay attention for a second. What's happening? I'm
The
lost.
Squid Sisters will also perform here during Splatfests.
Callie is the best squid girl.
Cool and freshness,
Fight
then
me.
head over to Inkopolis. The first wave of this paid DLC launches this spring.
I'll do the choreo. Thank you for gifting a sub, Max. So it's the first lobby.
Oh, what's this?
They're releasing a DLC from the. Okay. Me when I release. Nope. They're doing the bare minimum. Sorry. Nintendo be like, I don't like money. Is this near Automata? Like, what is happening? What a great expansion for annoying people. Just kidding. I'm kidding. I just wanted to say something controversial.
Inkopolis launches this spring. Wave 2 Side Order will launch in the future.
Not in the future.
The Splatoon 3 expansion pass will be available later today on Nintendo eShop.
Huh?
Many people have played Splatoon 3 since its launch.
Yeah, I played it for a week and then
Thank you
dropped
all
it.
very much.
Oh, sorry.
We hope players will be able to enjoy the game even more with the upcoming paid expansion pass.
I'll try.
Please look forward to more information about Splatoon 3.
Can you provide me some,
Let's see
some
more
eShop
Nintendo
gift
Switch
cards?
headlines.
Sir, because your games never go on sale. And your girl is broke.
Adventure awaits Mickey and friends on Illusion Island. Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, Donald Duck, and Goofy. Embark on a new adventure to find 3 magical books and save the mysterious island of Monoth. Run, jump, and swing to explore every nook and cranny of the island.
What did you call me? Did you just hear
By
him?
unlocking special abilities, you can reach new places
Oh, he
and
gagged me a
find
bit.
secret areas. Cross large chasms with boost jump. Ground-pound barriers to open new spaces. And glide through the air to reach distant platforms and hidden areas.
He's probably playing
Each
Hogwarts
character's
Legacy. He just called me the T
personality
word.
shines
Did
through
you
in
hear
interaction.
him? Side
Up to
eye.
4 pals locally can brave the island.
Sorry.
Share
It's
a
all
hug for extra
jokes.
help.
You know, I support everybody
Play
playing the
leapfrog for
Hogwarts
larger
game.
jumps, or drop a rope to
I just want to let you know one thing. I want to let you know one thing. Give me a second. Don't clip this and take this out of context. Hold on a second. I need to say one thing to everybody. I love you Hogwarts fans. Hold on just a second.
Study their movements carefully
Everyone
to
playing
figure out
Hogwarts,
the
here you go.
secrets
Your
to
teacher
victory.
dies at the end of Hogwarts Legacy and cannot be
Join
saved.
Mickey and friends
Also,
on a high-flying
Rookwood
adventure
is the
in
one who
Disney
cursed
Illusion Island,
Anne.
Swinging onto Nintendo Switch
I just want to let you know
July
that
28th.
Hogwarts stands. Just want to let you know.
Pre-orders begin today on Nintendo eShop. More emblems.
I
are
love
on
you,
the way.
Hogwarts fan. Mwah. Your
New
teacher
emblems
dies.
Are coming to future waves of the Fire Emblem Engage Expansion Pass DLC. Wave 2 includes Hector.
Fuck
Emblem
me
of
hard
Strength,
in the app. Sorry.
raise defense and unleash counterattacks.
There is only one person who can make
Sword,
Oh,
Emblem of
hello.
Acumen. Cast magic spells over a wide area.
Yes!
Camilla, Emblem of Revelation. Modify the terrain to hinder enemies.
Mother,
Wait,
Queen of
3
Boobs.
includes
Yes,
Crom
Crom.
and
He
Robin,
needed to be in.
Emblem
It's
of
so weird
Bond.
that he's DLC.
Overwhelm
Oh!
foes with sword and magic.
Oh my god, he's with Robin.
Veronica, Emblem of Heroes.
Oh!
Summon additional allies to fight for your
Oh! Veronica
Challenge newly added
outsells,
missions to recruit
bitch.
These new emblems. And in Wave 4, a new story called Bell Xenologue will be unlocked.
What?
Thank you for answering our prayers.
Who is it that's putting your world in danger now?
Watch out! Assassin!
Shut up right now. Shut up!
Wave 2 of the Fire Emblem Engage expansion pass for the Fire Emblem
Chills.
Engage game launches on
Chills.
the Nintendo Switch system
What?
later today.
Hello?
Take control of your destiny.
Girl, you can't throw me into
This
that
is
and then into
Reverie,
this
a world
Roblox
in which
fantasy
deities
game.
known
I
as
can't.
aspirations dwell.
That was a lot to
When a
unpack.
megacorp
Holy shit.
endangers the harmony between Reverie
Fire
and
Emblem
our
Engage
world,
stands one.
The future of humanity hangs in
And
the
for you
balance.
Hogwarts stands, your teacher dies.
In this narrative
Just gonna do a little
adventure,
recap for anybody
harness
just
your
joining.
divine gift of clairvoyance to travel between worlds, see the future, and decide humanity's fate. Many branching story paths, along with a riveting soundtrack by Celeste composer Lena Raine, set the stage for your journey. Eventually, you'll side with one of the 6 aspirations like Bond, power, or chaos to change the story's outcome. To which destiny do you aspire? Harmony, the fall
But you know
of
what's
reverie,
sick? Like,
launches
I don't want to
first
make this
for
a whole thing. We're
consoles on
stopping it
Nintendo
after this. I
Switch
say this.
June.
Trans people are being a second hand to a video game. Like, be
These
real.
games will
Be
have you
real.
roll
Like, be serious. Sorry.
Octopath Traveler 2 is just around the corner. After today's Nintendo Direct, a demo containing the game's opening hours will be available on Nintendo eShop. 8 new stories await. Which path will you take first? Who will your allies be? And where will your journey lead you? Venture through a brand new world in Octopath Traveler 2, launching on Nintendo Switch February 24th.
I don't know, y'all. I want to be real and
Keep
say,
it rolling. Run
can I
around
have
and
a
collect
second? Like,
oodles
can
of
you
objects
pause?
in this remaster of We Love Katamari. Roll in a classroom, a zoo, and space?
Oh, a zoo.
New features include playing as the young king of all cosmos in 5 new challenges. And taking photos with a selfie camera.
Oh, selfie.
We Love Katamari Reroll plus Royal Reverie comes to Nintendo Switch June 2nd. In addition, active Nintendo Switch Online members can play a free game trial of Katamari Damacy Reroll. Combine the powers of the sun and moon to fend off evil in this turn-based RPG. Freely traverse a breathtaking world, meet characters from all walks of life, and devastate foes
Yasuo?
with timed attacks in battle. Complement your journey with enchanting melodies and retro-inspired tunes from the renowned Yasunori Mitsuda, a guest composer for the game. Sea of Stars sails onto Nintendo Switch August 29th. A free demo will launch later today on Nintendo eShop. Duke it out in this free-to-play online multiplayer showdown. Form 2 teams of 3 and challenge others to lightning-fast
Hammond?
battles, air hockey style. Use each striker's skills to dominate each match. Change the course trajectory from afar. Block areas to gain the advantage.
Girl, I literally
Or knock
DJF.
opponents out of the arena with explosive moves.
Like, I literally
Omega
DJF.
Strikers slides onto Nintendo Switch April 27th. Pre-orders for this free-to-play game begin today on Nintendo eShop.
My
Dive
tweet didn't
back into the
send that I'm
sprawling
live.
labyrinth. A collection of the first 3 Etrian Odyssey games is coming to Nintendo Switch, remastered in HD.
Why is it
Many
not
treasures
posting?
lie deep within a massive labyrinth.
What did I do?
Its
What I
paths
do?
are intertwined, and vicious monsters lurk in the shadows. A blank map is your only guide.
Girl, I literally don't give a fuck.
By drawing the map as you explore, you can progress even further.
Is Twitter down?
Venture into the labyrinth with 5 adventurers. As the guild leader, you'll assign them roles, like the ally defending protector or the ultra-fast dark hunter.
Oh.
But
Well,
be
we're here
warned,
together,
every
everybody.
adventure is fraught with
Smooches.
danger. Should you
Hi,
fall in
Debbie.
battle, you can change your team.
Can we get
and
some,
learn
as
new
a community,
skills to
can we
strengthen
come
your party
together?
before
Can
challenging
we
the
send some
labyrinth
Nemesis
again.
Lois in the chat? Nemi Lois. Nemi Lois.
24
Let's come
newly
together.
drawn
Let's join
character illustrations
hands.
are included. Plus, take advantage of new difficulty options and a new auto mapping function for smoother exploration.
Yeah, who needs Twitter when you have me?
Etrian Odyssey Origins Collection.
The one guy
launches
on Twitter that was
Nintendo
like,
Switch
you
June
sound like
1st.
you have an
Each
ego
game in the
problem.
collection
I was
will
like,
also be available
yes.
separately on Nintendo eShop.
Why is having an ego a problem? Bitch,
Pre-orders
I'm
begin
hot.
today on Nintendo
And I
eShop.
love myself sometimes. Sometimes.
Get your tactical skills ready. Calling all strategy fans. The Advance Wars
Nope,
1
not me.
plus 2 Reboot Camp game is only a couple of months away.
Girl, who
Join
GAF?
Andy, Max, Sammy,
Andy,
and more
Max,
in 2
Sammy.
full
Okay, do you want me to
story
add
campaigns,
Tiffany? Do you want me to
each one
add
filled with
Karen?
colorful
Like,
turn-based
what are these
tactical
boring ass
action.
names? Boring ass character.
Flex
Like, what are
your
you,
strategic
5?
muscles across a multitude
Sorry.
of modes. Design your own maps and share them with friends. Plus, go head-to-head in local and online play.
Okay,
Advance
Lee, let's
Wars
calm down a
1 plus 2
second.
Reboot Camp comes to Nintendo Switch April 21st. Pre-orders begin today on Nintendo eShop.
Oh, Lee Dawson, why don't you pre-order it? Go ahead. Go ahead. You had a lot to say in the media. Kirby!
A new story will unfold in the Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe game. Magolor, the interdimensional traveler from the main adventure,
Queen.
has lost his powers and must escape the realm between
Who took
dimensions.
them away? How dare you? Hurt Magolor. How dare you?
All he can do now
What?
is a basic attack and jump. To regain Magolor's
Oh my god,
powers,
Magolor like
you'll need to
own little
collect magic points by
game.
defeating enemies.
How cute is
With
that?
magic points, different abilities can be restored and enhanced.
This is good. This is good. Kirby fans won.
Improve Magolor's levitation.
Danny, thank you for 6 months. I love you so much.
Or increase his attack range. The order in which you restore
This
his
is really
powers
cute.
is
I'm
up to
impressed.
you.
They're giving him his own like little
There
thing.
are over 20 interdimensional stages to explore. Up to 4 players on the same system can venture through this mysterious realm together. Can Magolor restore his powers and safely return to his world? You can access this new epilogue after clearing story mode.
Oh. Well, that would be okay.
After today's Nintendo Direct, a demo will be available on Nintendo eShop.
Of what? Of Return to
Up to 4
Dreamland?
players can play a specially arranged demo with select stages and sub-games. Kirby's
Yeah,
Return
on the
to
same
Dreamland
thing,
Deluxe
girl.
launches on the Nintendo Switch system February 24th.
Oh, the game isn't even
Pre-orders are
out?
available now on Nintendo eShop.
Wait.
We hope you're looking forward to the new story in Kirby's Return to Dreamland
Wait.
Deluxe.
I thought the game was out,
Next,
and that was like a
here's some
DLC.
news about Nintendo Switch Online. Please take a look at this.
Girl. We're changing the price. Ah! No shot. No way. No way, dude. I literally just said I wanted to get a Game Boy.
Game Boy games are being added to Nintendo Switch Online.
Yes!
On Nintendo Switch, you can play these games anytime, anywhere, just like you could back in the day.
Oh my god!
Let's introduce the games that will be available at launch.
That's awesome!
Tetris.
I literally just said
Arrange
I
the
wanted to get a
falling
Game
Tetraminos and
Boy.
aim
Like
for
you
a high
could
score.
you could cut the feed and go to the last stream.
Super Mario Land
That's
2,
crazy.
6 golden coins. Reclaim the castle that Wario stole from you.
I wonder if
The
they'll do like
Legend
Game
of
Boy
Zelda,
Advance and
Link's
stuff. Oh my god, they are
Awakening
doing
DX.
Game Boy Color.
Awaken
So there's
the
gonna be Game Boy
Wingfish to
Advance
escape
stuff.
Covalent Island.
Work.
Gargoyle's Quest. Save the Ghoul Realm as Firebrand from the Ghosts
is
and Goblins
exciting.
series.
This leaves
Game
it
& Watch
open to
Gallery
possibly
3. Play an
GameCube in the
assortment of
future.
Game & Watch titles.
Because now every Direct, every year, they're adding more stuff to the Virtual
Alone
Console.
in the Dark,
Very
The
likely
New
they're going to do
Nightmare.
Game Boy. I mean
Solve a murder
GameCube
mystery
soon.
on the supernatural Shadow Island.
Alone in the
Metroid
Dark?
2:
No
Return of
way.
Samus. Destroy the Metroids hiding on planet SR-388. Wario Land 3. Traverse a world that changes between day and night based on your actions.
All the like people.
Kirby's Dream Land.
Oh my
Float,
god!
inhale, and spit
I
out
used to play
enemies
this all
in
the
Kirby's
time!
debut title.
People that don't like retro and didn't have a Game Boy are like, what the F is this? I'm like, girl,
You can use the Game Boy,
you need to know.
Game Boy Pocket, or Game Boy Color screen filters. Up to 2 players can play compatible games together locally or online.
Oh my god! Fierce.
More games will be added in the future.
Oh my god, the trading card game. I used to have that.
And
That noise! Ah! Better than sex!
Game Boy Advance games are being added to Nintendo Switch
Yes!
Online
Oh
Plus
my
expansion pack.
god!
Here are the games that you can play at launch. Super Mario Advance 4, Super Mario
Oh my
Brothers
god!
3. Play 38 extra levels
This
from
is
the
so
Nintendo e-reader accessory.
exciting!
WarioWare Inc. Mega Micro Games.
Yes!
Experience the
Oh
origins
my
of the lightning
God.
fast micro game.
Yes! I love the original Wario
Kuru
Land.
Kuru Kururin. Guide the spinning stick to the goal without hitting obstacles.
Oh my god. I'm so happy they're doing this.
Mario Kart Super Circuit. Race in the first Mario Kart
Oh my
game
God.
created for a portable system. Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga.
Holy
Venture
shit!
through a zany world and fight with equally zany attacks. The Legend of Zelda, the Minish
Superstar
Cap.
Saga,
Trade some miniature shots
bitch!
and dive
The
into a big
Minish
adventure.
Cap, bitch!
Local and online play is supported for compatible
Gag.
games, and up to 4 players can
Gagged.
play together.
They did it for retro streamers. We won.
More games will be added to this library as well.
F-Zero, Amazing Mirror.
After this presentation, you can play these Game Boy titles with a Nintendo Switch Online membership.
Yay!
Or play both Game Boy and Game Boy Advance titles with a
So
Nintendo Switch
exciting.
Online Plus expansion pack membership.
Honestly, so I'm pleased. Give me one. Give it. Give it over here, bitch.
Select Game Boy titles will be playable on Nintendo Switch. And after today's Nintendo Direct, you'll be able to play the Game Boy and Game Boy Advance titles we introduced. Please look forward to more information about Nintendo Switch Online and Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack in the future.
Wait, that's so crazy
Let's
they
see a
didn't do
few more
Pokemon.
headlines.
Oh, they know.
The original Metroid Prime game is remastered on Nintendo Switch.
What? Now hold on. Oh wow. Oh wow. Oh bitch, Metroid stands 1. Wow. Wow. Oh my god, I got chills. Wow. Holy shit. Girl, I'm gagged. Wow. That's a really good title. They needed that.
The first Metroid Prime game, originally released on the Nintendo GameCube system, has been remastered for
Wow.
Nintendo Switch. Explore Tower
I will be
4
buying.
from the
I will stream
perspective
it.
of Samus Aran.
That's
But
awesome.
beware, there's more to this alien planet than meets the eye. Visors are the key to your adventure. They'll
Wow.
help you discover info and clues on how to progress.
Honestly, I know Metroid stands 1-4, but this is a great step.
Depending on the situation, a certain
Because it'll
visor
introduce
may be
people to this
required.
series, so it'll get more
When
buzz.
hostile creatures attack, keep them in your sights with the lock-on feature. Then fight back with beams, missiles,
Because I've never played
bombs,
this,
and more.
so I don't know what Metroid 4 is gonna be.
This remaster adds new dual-stick controls,
So awesome.
allowing
That's
you to
awesome.
move around while separately changing your
Yeah,
point of
definitely
view.
preparing the ground for
You
Metroid
can also select a
4.
control style
Definitely.
that recreates the
This
feel
looks
of the
incredible.
original
Look how
game,
it's running.
among other control options.
Like this,
Explore Talon
it's
4 with
flawless.
your preferred
Flawless.
playstyle. The digital version of Metroid Prime Remastered launches on Nintendo eShop later today. The physical version of the game will be available in stores
What?
February 22nd.
They did not just hot drop it.
Put your master
They did not
detective
just
skills
hot
to the
drop that
test.
game, dude. Wow.
This is the World Detective
Wow.
Organization. You
Wow.
are a trainee detective, and Shinigami, the spirit haunting him,
I'm so excited for this
will
game.
solve the strange incidents within Kanai
The
Ward,
Danganronpa game.
a city ruthlessly
It's literally made by
controlled
Spike Chunsoft,
Amaterasu
so
Corporation.
I'm excited to stream this.
You'll investigate these incidents alongside master detectives of the organization. Each one has a supernatural ability that can prove useful during
Oh, work.
investigation.
They have supernatural abilities. Cute.
Mimic body types and voices with disguise. Detect heartbeats and whispers with audio aptitude. And witness past crime scenes with post-cognition.
Work.
These abilities can be shared with Yuma.
So this is post-cognition.
So
No, this
use
is
them
set for
to get
summer, I
closer
think.
To cracking a case. After collecting enough
Tell us,
evidence,
they just hot
a
dropped
mystery
it,
labyrinth
bitch.
will appear.
I'm gagged.
Let's do this mystery.
Spot the inconsistencies and uncover the truth.
Oh my god, the ultimate moves? That's fierce.
Master Detective Archives
Work.
Rain Code launches on Nintendo Switch June 30th. Wings of the Heart take flight once more. A remastered collection of both Bot and Kaidos games, originally released on the Nintendo GameCube system.
I thought this
is
was
coming
Pit.
to Nintendo Switch. After a long and peaceful
I was
era
like, I
on the
told
floating
y'all,
islands above Earth,
but
the Empire's conspiracy looms closer.
it's gonna be in the next one.
Spirits
Watch
dwelling
the
within
next
the
one. They're prepping
protagonists.
it.
You'll stand up to the Empire across 2 different eras of war.
Kid Icarus is next. Watch. Either that or it's at the end.
During your travels, you'll visit various locales and team up with like-minded allies. Battles are fought using cards called Magnus.
No,
Your
they added
attack power
DLC
is
for Fire Emblem,
determined by
a new
the
story, and
attributes
then the port to the
combinations of your
game,
cards,
the
which
virtual
are randomly
console.
dealt from the deck. In these real-time battles, you'll need to make split-second decisions to edge closer to victory. What revelations will come to light in the skies above and the lands below? Baten Kaidos 1 and 2 HD Remaster soars onto Nintendo Switch this
I
summer.
know, I'm getting nervous, girl. I've lost 3 nails. I can't.
Dive into your new fantasy life.
Fantasy life. Girl, be serious. Come on.
Live
Nobody
the
GAF.
life you want in a new fantasy life game. While exploring the once thriving island, you'll meet a mysterious girl.
You'll help others
Then
like this
travel
girl.
between
You'll help
past
others
and
like this
present
woman. Side
to
eye.
make the island your own.
Yeah, it looks cute. Not for me, though. Not for me.
Become a woodcutter.
I like action.
Angler.
Girl, I don't think we're getting any Tears of a Kingdom. Watch them at the end. They go, it is coming out in 2025. Oh!
Take on different roles to develop the island. How will you rebuild? This life is yours to live. After 1,000
All right, wrap this
years,
trailer up.
the
We got shit to do.
restoration is about
Come on.
to begin.
Let's go.
Fantasy Life on.
Come on, keep it
the
pumping.
girl who steals time.
I'll show you a girl that steals time. This trailer's stealing my time. Let's go. Come on. Oh, dark screen scared. Girl, who the fuck? Oh, pull up Professor Layton. Oh my god. Yes. Oh, you want Hogwarts for the Switch? The teacher dies at the end. Just want to let you know. Teacher dies and Anna is the curse or whatever bullshit. Well, just letting you know. So you can play it.
Wave 4 is racing in. Yoshi's Island. A brand new course is zooming into Wave 4 of the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass DLC.
How cool! That's awesome!
Birdo,
Oh
who
my
originally
God!
hit the track in Mario Kart
No
Cover
way!
is also being added
No!
to Wave 4.
No! Holy shit! Trans rights! Holy shit! Bitch! Bitch!
Wave 4
Bitch!
of the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass DLC for the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe game races onto the Nintendo Switch system this
They
spring.
added Birdo!
Active Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack members can enjoy this DLC at no additional cost. The DLC can also be purchased on its own.
I can't believe they just did that! Oh, let me adjust myself. Oh! 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 Okay, can we get some good shit? No one cares about Mega Man. I mean, I love Mega Man! Hashtag Capcom creator! Yes, I'm excited for this one! This is the one! This is it! Game of the year! This one right here! Girl, remember when y'all were obsessed with this? I can't. Oh my god, Tales of Symphonia! Work. Oh my god, it's the, oh my god! It's the one for the Wii! That's awesome!
Thank you for staying with us so far. This will be our last segment.
Girl!
Please take a look.
Girl, it's gonna be Tears of a Kingdom. They saved it for the end. I can't. Yeah, look, it's Tears of a Kingdom. I can't. Girl, please. Be real. They're so unserious. Delayed. The store is looming. We are delaying the game. Sorry. I can't. Girl, Birdo won the direct for me. It's fine. We're good.
Rise, rise, my servants. Sweep over Hyrule. Eliminate this kingdom and her allies.
Oh, ally!
No survivors!
I don't run the odds, baby. It auto does it. Is this Bayonetta? Yes. Girl, playable Zelda. Drop it right now. Do it. You need some marketing. Show us Zelda playable. Come on.
But Link, I am not sure you'll be able to stop him.
That would have been a great time to show playable Zelda. Like, where is she? Come on. Not impressed so far, not impressed.
Please, lend him your power.
Okay, Zelda has to be playable after that. She's definitely playable after that. No way, she's not playable. Why didn't they let her?
That was The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, the latest entry in the Legend of Zelda series. In addition to the standard version, a collector's edition of the game containing various items will release on launch day. A new amiibo figure of Link from this game will also be available on the same day. We hope you're looking forward to Link's latest grand adventure. That's all for today's Nintendo Direct. Thank you for watching.
They drop like they literally show like 3 seconds of footage and then call it. They never do, like, they should have just shown like so much. Their marketing is so strange for Zelda. It's one of the most anticipated games of the decade, and they show literally 2 seconds of the footage. Nothing new. They showed like rail like things, and like 2 are new, 3 things that are new, and then they're like, all right, it's gonna be out in May. And then they like tease something. Like, why are you teasing stuff? Your game comes out in 3 months. It's probably because they still haven't made the game yet. Everybody, please, can I have a mod shout out Marisol? Please follow my twin. Like, let's inspect. Let's see how many new things there are. Let's count with our fingers. Okay, newish area. Nope, that's not new. That's underneath the lake. Okay, wait, right there. There's a 3-headed enemy right there. You see that? That's something new. So 1.
Eliminate this kingdom and her allies. Leave no survivors.
This is new. I don't know if that's like, because it's not gameplay, it's like a cutscene. Because they won't show us anything of this fucking game. That was new too. That little scene right there was new too. 3 right there, the hanging guy from the thing. 4, this boss. 5, this thing.
I am not sure you'll be able to stop him.
That was new. 6, 7, 8. We got hold on, is that it? Guys, that trailer was literally 2 minutes. That was like 1 minute long. We got maybe like a handful, like 10 new things, but nothing revolutionary. Like, they're just quality of life increases to the game. I can't. I'm done. I just like... Their marketing is so bizarre. Am I wrong for thinking that? Their marketing is so bizarre for this game. Like I said, this is one of the most anticipated games of the, like, it's like gonna be game of the year. Like, everybody's anticipating this. Like, it's crazy. Like, if Zelda is playable, when we'll find out, because this is probably the last thing we're gonna get. Guys, also, hold on. This is probably the last little teasers, like little of whatever we're gonna get until Zelda releases, or like the day before they're gonna release like a trailer teaser. So they should have went all out with this. They should have went all out with this. I'm just lost. I want to be surprised if I can. I understand that, but... True, they didn't delay it, which is good. It doesn't look like new areas. They look the same. Like, that was the big thing last time we saw these trailers, is that we saw, like, I've said this before and I'll say it again. It feels like a DLC expansion of adding stuff above and below. Nothing, like, they'll change the terrain a little bit to the world, like these trailers will get, but it's not gonna feel revolutionary like a new world or new anything. Like, it's just above and below. It feels like I'm interested to see what they do with it, because it's not... It's weird. It's weird. It's very strange. And, like, what does this mean? Do you think at the start of the game right here, we pick who we want to play as? Like, it freeze frames right here and it goes, pick Zelda, Link. And then whoever it is, it would, like, whoever he hits, kind of like, yeah, subspace, kind of how Peach and Zelda. So, like, the story changes depending on who you get. So, like, if it's Link, then Link will get infected and then go be in trouble and, like, whatever. But then that wouldn't make sense because then, like, who's gonna narrate it if Zelda's playing? I don't know. Yeah, are they charging 70 instead of 60? That's what I want to know. Hi, Lily, by the way. She looks in a mirror and talks to herself. Please, so real. I don't want her to die. No. No. Jennifer Coolidge will do it. Real. guys. You look so pretty. Thanks, Liz. But then what does this mean? Like, why would they add this? Like, they purposely add these teasers at the end of the trailer to mean something. So, like, I want to know what it means. Nintendo website at $69.99. Shut up. You lie. I think it's just them getting separated again. I don't think so, guys. I don't think so. Wouldn't that be too predictable? I mean, we could sit here and speculate for hours. We're not gonna find out till the game comes out. I'm excited to stream it with you guys. We will be turning off follower alerts. Sub only chat will be on. Like, we are not getting spoiled. Bitch. I know some people are streaming that redacted game and we are going into their chats and storming them with spoilers. Girl, I'm locking it down here when we stream this game. Because I know they're gonna come back fuming. They're gonna be like, you spoiled my Hogwarts game. I'm gonna come. Your teacher dies at the end of the game. Sorry. Yeah, why are they down there? Why are they awakening this creature? They wouldn't showcase Zelda saying you can't do this alone and then a clip of them falling. It means something definite. That's what I'm saying! Like, Nintendo isn't gonna be like, we're gonna show you, you can't do this alone. I have to lend you my strength. Like, they do it purposefully. Maybe. It's an interesting thing. She's also... I want to take notice at this. I know that Link is always the protagonist, right? Take notice. I don't think it's coincidence nor character design reasons that they are wearing something very similar. I don't think that is not intentional, coincidence, or misplaced. I think that's intentional, hopefully, for, like, you have to think in the eyes of somebody that isn't like a diehard stan. Like, you have to think in the eyes of a general consumer. So, like, if they make them look very similar, make them both look like a protagonist, so it's not misconstrued. Like, say you're like 13, 14 years old, right? And you're picking up this game that your parents bought for you for Christmas. And the game starts at, I don't know why they would buy you this, just think hypothetically. And you see like this screen pops up and they want you to pick a character. It's not gonna sway the story, you're not gonna be confused because you're playing Zelda or Link and they look very similar. They look like the protagonist, they're very hero-like. So I don't think it's, yeah, I don't think it's them just not doing it on purpose. They also cut her hair. Like, what is the expression or whatever? Yeah, I know, it does look like choose who's saved. Very Subspace Emissary. You can go watch my Subspace Emissary gameplay on my YouTube channel. Her hair being short makes you think there's a chance she will be playable. I think... What was the game? No, that was the League of Legends game. I thought for this they said we can't reveal the name because it will be spoilery. I thought they said that originally. They're copying Genshin. No, literally, see that cape on her? She looks like the Traveler in Genshin. Like, I can't believe they would copy Genshin Impact. Like, wow. Like, know your roots. Like, know where you come from. No, literally same. I hate playing as a man. Link is fine, but like I would love to play as Zelda. That's just me being like a stan. This means more double the fashion opportunity. That's what I'm saying. And take notice of this. I'll give you an example of this. Everybody hold my hand, stay with me. Stay with me. Considering I don't know why this game took so long to come out. I guess we'll figure out why. Stay with me. Games, God of War Ragnarok, WWE 2K23, they're not rebuilt on a new engine so they can add more things for the general consumer. Riddle me this. They don't make a lot of new things in this game. It's just above the world, below the world. I think adding a new playable character with new fashions and new clothes is something that could definitely be possible because they didn't rebuild the engine and take their time in that. What are your thoughts? Oh, you disagree? Just kidding. I am a detective in this blazer. We'll see. I mean, we can sit here and speculate for however long. Like, we can sit here and speculate. What do you think of the Bayonetta game? I think... Oh, the new one. I thought you were talking about the one that... I was like, my thoughts have been summed up in that video. I think it looks cute. It comes out, like, near my birthday, so I'll definitely be streaming it for my birthday to celebrate, which is exciting. It actually comes out on my mom's birthday, which is funny. Actual mother. So I'm excited for it. I love the art style. I love that it's like a rhythm game kind of thing. I'm really excited. I can't really say much because like I don't know much about it, but exciting. So now we have a lot of stuff coming out this year. This year is pretty crazy for games. We have I can't believe they gave us Birdo. That's so insane. I love that. Yeah, Samba Amigo. I think overall thoughts of this direct. Let's sum it up and then keep the stream going. Overall thoughts. My overall thoughts are I think some stuff pretty goated. Lots of ports, lots of remakes. Wow, I was wrong for no Pit, no Kid Icarus Uprising port, which is unfortunate, but it's fine. We got the Game Boy stuff. I think this direct would have been a better direct if they added more games to the Game Boy. I think someone said it in chat. I think it's very interesting they didn't add the Pokemon games to the Game Boy one. Because, I mean, they're smart. They know that's how they're still getting money. Because people are buying the games for however fucking expensive they are, wherever. But I think it's just a disservice to not add them. I do like that there's a lot of not popular titles getting a resurgence, like Samba Amigo, Katamari, even this Kirby game, because Kirby isn't that, like, Kirby's popular, but not as popular as some of the AAA titles like Zelda and Mario and all that stuff. I think Kirby's on the lower end just because like straight guys are like, oh my god, you play as a pink character, blue. Anyways. So I don't know. I think I would say pretty mid. I would say definitely pretty mid. I like a lot of the stuff that they added, but nothing I'm really like rolling over, backbending like crazy for, except for the Birdo release. But yeah. Yeah, that is weird. The 3DS is shutting down and they didn't add the Pokemon games. That's really strange. And if they did add them to the thing, they wouldn't be making money off of them too. That's interesting. So yeah, I would say pretty mid, pretty mid. I did think the Samus was pretty gaggy. The hot drop was really gaggy. Like, what the? That was insane. Lots of hot dropping. That was insane. So yeah, exciting. My only complaint is that I just wish we got more Tears of the Kingdom stuff. Like, it's kind of ridiculous that it's literally coming out in like 3 months and there's not a lot of info on it. Like, we need gameplay trailers, we need more information, we need like story, like explanation, like not to spoil it, but like we just need to like, where is the setting, where is this and that. So it's fine, it's cool, it's whatever. I'm excited to stream it, I'm excited to play it with you guys. Because when Breath of the Wild came out, I wasn't a streamer. It came out when it was on the Wii U. You ever think about that? Breath of the Wild was on the Wii U before it came to the Switch. Isn't that crazy? I played it when it came out to the Wii U, which is insane, but excited for that journey for us. If you want to watch my playthrough on the stream of Breath of the Wild, I restreamed it. It is on my YouTube channel. There's about 7 streams, and we still didn't beat Ganon. I found out recently that somebody said, Nem, you beat the DLC, but you never beat Ganon, so you never really beat Breath of the Wild. And I was like, oh, that's really interesting. Anyways. But yeah, exciting. I think this is pretty goated too. Superstar Saga, pretty amazing. But yeah, it's aight. I think this direct sets up a lot of things for holiday season. I think it sets up a lot of things for future installments. I think more Game Boy Advanced. I think setting up for possibly DS games on the online service. Maybe after the 3DS shop shuts down, that's when they'll announce that the 3DS games are coming to the eShop or coming to the Switch, or DS games to the Virtual Console. I think they're setting up for stuff like that. And then like eventually GameCube for the Switch. And then, you know, down the road, they're gonna announce a Switch Pro or whatever bullshit. But every time we get a direct, everybody's like, Switch Pro is gonna be announced. And I'm like, girl, be serious. So, yeah, those are my thoughts. I don't really have much else to say unless anybody has any questions. Yeah, I know we're not getting Nintendo at E3. I know we're not getting PlayStation. I know we're not getting anything. But the reason why they're not going to E3 is because they want to do their own shows. Like, I don't know why. I don't know what the separation was. Maybe there's something backstage or like internally that's not going well with E3 and they're not making money or like doing the right way. But Nintendo's gonna do their own thing E3 week. It's gonna be a busy week. It's gonna be, yeah, it's gonna be their summer direct. So I think they just want to do it internally. So we're gonna get a PlayStation showcase in the next couple days or weeks. They usually do a direct and then a PlayStation presentation in February to set up their stuff. You can go on my YouTube channel. It basically is a structure of when they do these shows. So you can go to, on my YouTube channel, there's like one for February, then there's summer, and then there's winter. So if you follow that routine, I'd be shocked if we didn't get a PlayStation showcase in the next couple months. I mean, next couple weeks. We're gonna be getting one very soon. For today, what's everybody's standout? Birdo and the new map for Mario Kart. Honestly, that's kind of my problem with this direct. It's very mid. Like, what am I going to spend my money on? You know? Thank you, Jaden. Yeah, I do like the Game Boy games. I do. Nintendo is typically June-ish. Xbox is July, and PlayStation is in August. Work. I want to play Fire Emblem now. You should. It's a really good one. The new one's really good. Yeah, I like that they did Samba de Amigo. I like that they did like games like this, like Fantasy Life, Samba de Amigo, Katamari. I really do enjoy that. It's really interesting and fun. I like that they're breathing new life into these old games, which is fun for retro streamers. Some of these aren't for me, but it's fine. I will say they're probably setting the stage for Metroid. And considering the hot drop, girl, they got something cooking. So Metroid stands, I know you've been waiting a while, but soon. They got something cooking. The hot drop was really surprising. Like, they definitely have something for winter or early 2024. 100%. Oh, this was fun. Professor Layton. Forgot about it, but it's whatever. Oh, it's because there was no trailer. It just said a new mystery begins. That's why. This is so gaggy. Yoshi's Island. Look how cute it is. It's so cute. We gotta play Yoshi's Island on the channel. We gotta play it on the stream. Yoshi's Island is such a classic. Take notice. Take notice of this. Take notice of that. Yeah. Take notice. Come on, guys. You know it's a good game. Do more of it. Double Dash? Come on. The different color Birdos. Serve. Just like in Strikers. Alrighty, guys. Let's go over here.